Okay, so today I thought I'd do something a little different and show you guys what happens and how I do some 3D modeling, which I have done 3D modeling. If you've ever been to my website, you've seen some of it, but here's a big project that I haven't posted anything on yet. Now, I've created the movie Enterprise, the 1701, the 1701A. It's none of these are completely textured yet. These are just sample textures. Um, and you can look at that. Not even completely put together yet. Not finished. It's not finished. Relax. It's all right. And what I've decided to do here, if you've ever looked at a picture of the original series Enterprise and the Enterprise refit, it just really looks like there's a lot of stuff that went on that was just didn't quite fit and really makes it look like just a whole new design of ship. So what I'm doing here is I am taking the original series Enterprise and tweaking the parts so they line up better, so it makes a little more sense. Like, what if the original series Enterprise, this fella, was actually built a little bit more like the motion picture Enterprise? This picture here is I'm working with. So what I've been doing so far is I've been moving things around, rearranging them. It's like I want in the original motion picture Enterprise, or in the original series Enterprise, these these nacelles, these struts, actually entered the hull much lower, like down here, closer to here than they do up here. But I've moved them to match how they enter the hull on the motion picture Enterprise. So now, and I just put some time and energy into putting the XY on these things, the rotation point down at the bottom, so that when I turn these things to line up with the engine, it will do it from the base, and I won't be having to move it and move it and move. Because if I put the X Y Z centroid up here in the middle, then I'd have to keep moving because this would move, then this would move, then this would move, then this would move, then this would move, and so forth. So I moved the centroid down to the base, and now I'm going to crank it around so that it matches. It lines up with the engine pod, the actual warp engine better. Now, I can go over to this strut here. Okay, there. This strut now, and I could actually just type in the exact rotation that I have over here, or I could do it the more fun way and just rotate it to the matches on the screen. Because you can kind of see where this one, the top of this one is, and where the top one of this one that hasn't been rotated yet. So I'm going to take that. Just going to rotate it up a little bit like that. Now these should be practically identical now. 90.10, 90.14. I'll make this, okay, I'll do the number there now. I know it matches better. All right, now take a look at it. I should really glue all this guy together now so that the comparisons are easier to make. But first I have to take a good look at them, make sure that everything is. There's no small parts floating around. There's starboard linear warp engine, port linear warp engine, port strut, starboard strut. Secondary hull, are we all put together? No, we are not. All right, let's so I'm gonna go like this. Keep that other Enterprise back there. Okay, you are separate from that. I'm gonna glue everything in the photon torpedo tube together. Might have to rotate this to do it right, to get that other front tube. Okay, that's so far so good. Okay, come on, give me a light up on the rotatey. Alright, that looks like everything. Alright, now I'm going to get out of the glue mode, go here, go back into glue mode. Oh crap, I got phasers and phaser banks and everything to line up right. Okay. Gotta line up the phaser banks. Because it's got belly phasers and everything. It's got a hard back. It's got everything, all this other little stuff I need to worry about. Equal that out because this is the width of the secondary hull. This is the height of the secondary hull. These should be the same since since at its widest it is just round. I'm pretty sure on the actual starship dimensions it's like this too. So I'm going to take this, make it a 5. These are not currently in any particular, these aren't in meters or feet or yards or miles or anything. These are just, all the ships are just built to a scale. It's rather arbitrary what these numbers are right now. That's something I will fix somewhere down the road. But right now, I'm going to worry about the phasers on the belly. Alright, I got 4 phasers. If I recall correctly, there's also a light in the middle of that. Look at the hull. Okay, those 2 phasers. Got that. I'm going to go ahead and duplicate that. I'm going to move it down here. Because there's a navigation light down here too. The X should be 0. I'm going to switch to the render view to see how much that's poking out. Whoop! Now it's got a little flipped around there. All right. Let's go ahead and bring that down just a little bit more. I wonder what these 4 phaser banks. Where's the... Give us a centroid there. Alright, that's not right. That should be 0 as well. That looks better. Wait, are you 0? Yeah. Secondary hull is 0. The ship is 0, so these should be 0. This should look better now. Alright. So for the elements, gluing the elements together, I'm going to glue these guys together first. As if I don't do it the specific way, then it gets all confused and confliculated when I try to put it together later. There's the phasers. I'm going to raise those a little bit. There's the navigational beacon. Whoops. Keep that 0. Make sure these phasers are at 0. Make sure their centroid is right. This centroid was not right. Now it is. I'll put them at exactly 0. Okay, got the hull back right here. Alright, we're good. That's something doesn't seem right about that, but I can always come back and fix that later. It's not our primary. That's not my primary concern right now. But I do want this. And I want this to be together as one group. I'm going to attach you to the photon torpedo housing. I'll go to this partly rendered version. Look around, see what all we've got. Okay, I still have to add these guys. So, you. And let's go ahead and attach you to. Now I click away on something else, and I come back, click on that. Now I've got photon torpedo housing, looks good. Sensor array looks good. Secondary hull looks good. Belly phasers and navigational light are all connected. Aft phasers and navigational beacon are good. So now I glue all these together. I have to go to the primary hull now. Yeah, that doesn't look so good. This might require some more work down the road. For this, I'm going to zoom in here. Yeah, I think this will definitely need more detailed work down the road. I'll switch to the front view. I'm going to go to the straight grid. All right, now where are my phasers? Those guys are lined up with those guys almost. Those ones are kind of hanging out there. Step away for a second and grab my book. For reference on these things, I use Ships of the Starfleet, Volume 1 Revised, 130th issue from years 2290 to 2291. Basically, it covers starships from Star Trek V and before. Covers all the frigates and cruisers, and I love it. It was just a piece of fan art back in the late 80s, I think. But it is fantacular fan art. So, yeah. Okay, the phasers should be farther out. Okay, so those phasers are 0.665. Should be 0.665. Those phasers are 0.044. 0.044. Which means that these phasers should be 0.0. No, that's wrong. I did the Z instead of the Y. All right, these are the Z 0.684, 0.684. All right, maybe I don't know what I'm doing. That's okay. Because right now I'm more working on just establishing a savable model. We're not looking at thing matching perfectly right now. But it'd be nice to put a little effort into... Wait a minute. I've got multiple phaser banks sitting here. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Oh, you're over there. All right. Made myself get lost there. And you. And you. I still got, like, are you? Oh, you are those phaser banks over there. All right, I need to ignore the high phaser banks. All right, so you, well, you're going to line up with those guys there. I like it. I'm looking at a side view here. These phasers should be tucked up a little more into the hull. And we are going to use this view now. And that these phaser banks need to line up. It should be just outside that grid line. Actually, you should line up like that. With those guys. All right. Oh! Well, they were lined up with the texture on the top of the hull, which unfortunately is not quite lined up with the saucer. Because here the texture comes up, it's that far away from the front edge. On the back, that's kind of, all right. So I'm just going, how much of a difference is that? Okay, I'm not going to worry about that. I'm going to work on that texture further down the road. But I am going to move these further forward. Does make sense, actually. Just lift them a little bit. All right, there we go. Take these guys. They're at the 0, 0. Raise them. Let's see. Raise them. I might wind up making a new saucer. I thought I made a new saucer already. All right, now I want to glue all these phasers together. Nope, no, I don't want to do that. So I just noticed that one of them is out of position. Unglue. What happened to these phasers here? Those phasers, okay, these should be farther out. Or should they? Yeah, they should be farther out. Looks right, and these guys too. Again, I know I'm kind of felching this right now. I'm going to go with that for now. So glue that to them, to them. Okay, now I gotta wait. That to them, and that to them, that to them, and then to them. There, all the phasers are on the primary hull are now glued together. I must consult my book. Where are the other navigational lights? Of course, I neglected navigational lights. All right. So I have a navigational light here. But I have nothing on the other side. Ugh. These phasers is so frustrating. All right. Go to see-through view here. It's true, I have nothing over there. All right, so I'm going to duplicate that. Boop. Put a minus there, and I know those two are equal. I'm going to go here. How does that look? Nope, not that. Well, that ship has navigational lights all correctly placed. Now, so I haven't touched some of these models in a long time, so I'm thinking I might have. There's a possibility even that I grabbed the wrong. Whoa, wait, what was that? All right. So I need to take you, duplicate you, move you down. Duplicate that. Assign its x-coordinate a minus value. Boop. It appears right over there. those little arrows, those are the lights. If I do that and then move it around, you see the shadows on the ships move around too. All right. Wasn't that fun? Okay. Now there's also supposed to be navigational lights back in the corners. So let's duplicate you. Bring it on back over here. Because that's about where it belongs. So I'm going to put that right on the line. Now I will duplicate it. So I'm add, delete this minus. Ta-da! Now I have all the navigational lights. Now, I'm going to go ahead and save the scene now. Oftentimes when I'm making a manipulation, I'll go through and I'm saving, manipulating and changing or developing a model. I'll go from saves to as scene, and I'll have the number, this last number A1, I'll jack that up. For every major change or series of changes I make, I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, and so forth. But this case, I'm just adding things. I'm not manipulating anything that might need to be reversed later on, so it's not that big a deal right now. So now, so file, save, scene, all right, da-da-da-da-da. Now I need to glue all these navigational lights together. Boop. 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 Whoops. Okay, I can fix that later. Rotate patate. Boom. Boom. One. Rotate patate. You. And man, crap, I should have one under there too. Which means I have to undo all these and start over again. Unglue, unglue. Glue. I'm glad I didn't have like 50 of these that I went through to just before I discovered my mistake. Oh wait, there is one there. No, that's that. All right. All right, what will happen sometimes is there will be a, when I have something selected, it creates these symbols around it for moving and manipulating just that individual object, and I hate it because it's distracting like that. Right now, I need to take that, I need to duplicate it, and move it down here like this. Now come down here, move this back to the 3D render view. Doobie doobie doobie, doobie doobie doo, doo 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 doo. Navigation lights. All right. Yes, I see the impulse engine housing is got that thing going on. That's again, that's a texturing issue for later on. Right now, I'm going to go back gluing now that I do have all my navigation lights. Go back to gluing them all together. Should be 3 sets there. Boom, boom, boom. There should be 5 all in all. Should be look great from the side, from the front. All right, so far so good. Now we'll make sure this sensor housing is all together. Again, we got to go to the line view for this. And the trick is, like, if I have this lined up like this and I click on something, I click and glue it onto part of the other sensor array here, I'm going to accidentally attach that Enterprise to this Enterprise, and in a way that's uncomfortable and unforgiving. So I have to make sure there's nothing behind it. So I do that. Then I do, let's change this to a bottom scene so I can see really clearly what's going on. Okay, now glue. What else have I got down here? Looks like there might be another part. I got the disc, I got the pointies, and a dome. Let's try just rendering it alone, see if it looks right. Yeah, that looks right. So that's all glued together. Now, the bridge deck. Rub my eyes for a second. All right, so we've got the saucer section right there. We don't want to glue that onto there yet, so we want this. We'll glue that to the bridge dome, to decks 2 and 3. Now that doesn't quite look right, so, and this is just one of those things, it's not a complete software kit. They had to release it early, so I don't give them too hard a time over it. Just smooth this out. Click that. All right, no, let's not do that. Let's do this. Increase the angle to like 50, 60 is fine. Maybe 70 is finer. Let's go ahead and go to the rendered view. Oh man, all right, it's not working, but eventually I put like a little doorway there for the docking thing there. Okay, so the bridge assembly is done. So I've got the impulse deck. Put it all together. Impulse crystal is there. And I think that's really all there is to this particular section. You a separate part. You're part of that. I'm going to attach you to that assembly. So if I do that, and then I go that's better. Yeah, I know there's lines on. I'll put textures on that soon enough. So, I need to glue that to that. Now the impulse engines and deflector crystal, whatever that is, crystal deflector thing. Right now I should be able to click on anything in the primary hull and it'll show up with its group. Yes. 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 See these guys again. And you and you. Alright, we are ready to glue everything together. That's the base. I'm going to glue everything on relative to it. There's the bridge. There's the phasers. There's the nav lights. And the impulse engine housing. And, crap. Now that's going to come up all wonky because I got out of the function early. But you don't want to see me go back and redo that. So, all right, we've got, what have we got now? We've got a complete warp engine. Double check that. Yep, we've got a complete warp engine. Got a complete warp engine. Yeah, those are pretty simple. Complete secondary hull, complete saucer. Now we glue it all together. Rotate that and make sure I don't get that other Enterprise in there. Boom, 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 boom. Yes, the other Enterprise does have a higher detailed mesh to it. That is one of the things I need to work on. All right, so, and that's done. Let's get back to working on the project at hand. You're not really going to come in handy, and you're not going to really come in handy anymore either. So what I am going to do, since the shuttle bay is technically right there, I'm going to go ahead and move these, and they sell these guys up forward. So I'm going to turn off the Y movement so it'll just go back and forth. They can't float around as I move them around. So I'm going to move them up more like this. You go up and you should kind of disappear when they match. So now I need to move the engines up. So if that's really where the warp core is held, then that would put those engines going up there, because you got to have room back here for the shuttle bay and the machinery around it. All right, let's see what it looks like in the in the semi-rendered view. Looks kind of funkier. Let's save the object. Let's save this object. Files, save as object. Connie refit, and just to keep it clear, I'm going to go with the -A. And the scene, save as scene. That's the CA, and that's a CAX. Alt pre-refit. Yes. Now I'm going to drop in load object. Just bring in this guy. I'm going to slide it. You can see the differences in the engine placement already. Everything else is already pretty close to how it is. Alright, so take you, slide you over here. Let's get you out of the way, and you out of the way, and you out of the way. Zoom out some, and take a look. Let's go ahead and just delete you for now. Oh, what is that? Oh, I'm not going to worry about it. All right, so this and this. Front node, big changes in the front. Warp engines are slightly further forward. Not really that much of a difference, not much of an aesthetic change at all. Okay, do your little screen hop a dot. Let's get over here. And what did I miss? Well, nothing there, but I know that that should be attached to that. I forgot about that. Got one missing part here. Oh, all right. Yeah, you don't belong there. You just don't belong there. All right. So if the Enterprise was built just a little differently, if things had just moved around a little bit, the refit would have made a lot more sense. Just by moving the nacelles forward and so forth. All right, I hope you got something out of this. Hope you enjoyed it. If I get a lot of people watching this, I'll come back and I'll show off some of the other 3D works that I've started. Some are almost done. Some I have some original spaceship designs of my own. I'm working on some tanks, some airplanes. I'm working on the new F-15EX, which is just sweetening up a model, slightly modifying a model of F-15 that I've had for a decade, and so forth. So if you like what you see, come on back and we'll check it out some more. Ultimately, I want to have a full library of all the TOS, thank you, of all the TOS series, of all the movie series, Enterprises, frigates, the Reliant class, Avenger, all its variations, the Nox and light frigates or destroyers or whatever. And we'll be looking at